Auburn and its leadership has put a new policy in place with an effective date of yesterday, February the 8th, 2022. The Employee Duty to Cooperate Policy. Auburn University at Montgomery, Alabama Cooperative Extension System, and Alabama Agricultural Experiment Station, collectively the university, employees have a duty to cooperate with university investigations and reviews. That's the policy statement. The policy principles? Well, it's important to know that the university conducts a variety of investigations and reviews in order to ensure compliance with applicable laws, regulations, and policies, and to otherwise ensure the integrity and proper functioning of the university.
I'm sure they do.
These reviews may be conducted by university personnel or outside entities engaged by the university. Employee cooperation in these reviews is essential and mandatory. Effective date, February 8th, 2022. Applies to all employees. And the procedures, they've got a duty to cooperate, blah, blah, blah. Employees participating in an investigation or review are protected by applicable policies against retaliation. Employees shall be entitled to relevant legal protection in matters involving potential criminal conduct. Didn't Auburn go through a period of time where Bruce Pearl said, nope, not talking to you?
That was then. This is now.
But see, he won games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want us to do?
This is seriously one of the most brilliant things that's ever been done. We want to fire this guy, but he's not helping us out in the investigation. We are going to create a policy that says if you don't help us out in investigations, we can fire you. It's
With
brilliant.
Cause. There's your cause.
It's brilliant. Whoever drew this up, elect them president. It's brilliant. I wish I could put that
so far from a legal scholar or even a legal mind.
You're a cultural icon, though, according to Eric Sorensen.
Well, that's awfully nice of E. Isn't this something that could be challenged in court if Brian Harsin is fired from Auburn with cause? Couldn't a smart attorney go, yeah, you don't get to put a policy in place dated effective immediately simply to serve your purposes to fire someone where there is no reason to fire him aside from the fact that you really don't like him?
I don't know. Looks pretty airtight to me.
I mean, like you, I'm not a legal scholar.
A 2-page Word document's airtight?
Airtight.
I didn't even see a heretofore or a whereas in that document. It can't be that
tight
binding.
as a drum. This is great.
I could be way off on this, and maybe they do have cause and all of that stuff. Maybe they do. Doesn't this feel like a Hail Mary? That they've seen, they haven't found, and so now they're manufacturing?
I don't know if it's a Hail Mary. This is definitely the 2-minute offense, though. They know they're running out of time. They've got to get into the end zone. This is the 2-minute offense.
It's the prayer at Jordan Hare 2.0.
Yeah. We're going to let Nick Marshall sling it, and we'll see what happens. This is fantastic. This is everything. I love college football for the games, but some of the stuff that happens outside, this is what I'm here for. I love this. It's just fantastic to me.
The sheer pettiness is what that's what you're describing.
Yeah.
Auburn wants to fire Brian Harsin. Auburn does not want to pay Brian Harsin $18 million to go away. In part because they just paid Gus Malzahn, how much was it? $21.5 million to go away. Not to mention the fact that staff and all of those other people will have to be bought out also. So, man.
This is so great.
It's either brilliant or
It strikes me as desperate.
the stupidest thing ever.
Why again, Borky, with the negativity? Come on, man.
It just strikes. Again, I could be so wrong. They could have him, dead to rights. They could have him, but you don't have to do this if you have him.
Tell me you don't like the picture of the Yellowwood guy and Charles Barkley and a few other big Auburn people just drunk as a skunk, trying to come up with something, anything. And they're like, you have to be cooperative with our investigations or we'll fire you. Brilliant. Nailed it.
Oh, man.
Richard, surely you have a lawyer friend. You went to Ole Miss. You got to have at least one.
We got one listening, for sure.
Somebody help us out. We have an HR department. Put her on with us.
Is Ashley still at work?
I can go find out. I don't think so, but I could go find out.
Man, her insight would be valuable right this second.
Honestly, we need to do that one day. Just have her in, talk about stuff like this.
We need to have her in to talk about the Saints.
That too.
Surely on the text line, somebody listening is an HR.
See, and that's a good question. Has he come back from Mexico yet? And follow-up question: When was he originally scheduled to come back from Mexico, and how many days did he prolong his vacation?
He was supposed to come back today, and he's still there. He's still in Mexico.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, they said he decided to increase his vacation.
Hey,
so will he be at the head coach meeting in Birmingham tomorrow?
I don't know.
Somebody says, is there a link to read about the new Auburn policy? Yeah, it's on Twitter.
I'll drop it in. I'll reply to him right now. I'll drop it in.
Tell you what, we could also stick that document on the Sports Talk Mississippi Twitter feed at Sports Talk MISS if we can. Hey, take us a minute to do that. Kevin in Oxford says, I told you guys nearly 2 years ago that Yellowwood was fixing to go through the roof, and you didn't listen.
Okay.
Through the roof how?
I think he's saying that Jimmy Rain now has more disposable income than perhaps he has ever had, and he's been wealthy for a really long time.
Oh, yeah, because the cost of everything's going up.
You mean like lumber prices?
Literally
We discussed that yesterday, didn't we? Yeah.
Yes, like a 2x4 in 14 feet with a suggested retail value of $20.50 and a builder price of $14.99 a board. A 14-foot 2x4 for $15. And that's not even treated.
Just know that if Tank Bigsby just falls on his butt instead of steps out of bounds, Auburn is not changing their policy to try to find cause to fire their coach.
No, they're not.
But, hey, there's some bartender or butler at a resort in Mexico right now that is getting some pretty sweet tips, I bet.
So this text comes on the C Spire text line. This is what it was worded better than what was rolling around in my mind. I don't know how a university can create a new policy that is applicable to an existing contract unless the parties agree to amend the contract. See, that makes sense to me on the surface, but if it is a university-wide policy,
which it is,
then, I mean, if a university puts a policy in place for all of its employees, then all of its employees have to follow the policy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, one would think. I mean, unless there's specific language.
Go see if she's still here. We got to get her in here if she is.
All right.
If not today, we'll give it a shot tomorrow.
Yeah.
Salary is from public funds. Not a lot. And I don't know what exactly the numbers are today. I do know that once upon a time, like a football coach's salary at Ole Miss or Mississippi State was like $200,000 or $240,000 through the university, and the rest of it was handled through the school's private foundation. Bulldog Club at Mississippi State, Ole Miss Athletics Foundation at Ole Miss. So, not a ton.
So I think I understand this correctly. You may correct me if I'm wrong. I think Lane Kiffin gets paid by the school $250,000, right? And the rest is the foundation, which is not the school.
It's usually around.
If that number, if I have that correct, which Richard's going to fact check me here, thankfully, because I could have this wrong. If that number is correct, it's like 3% of his salary is actually paid for by the university.
I'm not fact checking that. I was trying to.
Well, if that is the case,
I was trying to coordinate with our
legal correspondent.
Yes. Of counsel. Ashley's great, and hopefully we'll be able to visit with her tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, that's right. I mean, 10% of the salary would be $700,000. Half of that would be $350,000. That's down to 5%.
So if I have that correct, if it's $250K paid by the school, 3% of Lane Kiffin's salary comes from the school.
Yeah, give or take. Give or take.
But at the same time, they are his employer. So you guys sort of got to go from there.
Yeah. This is a great point. I'm sure the college got advice from their lawyers before they made a decision to do this. Oh, there's no question. Auburn has put this policy into place with consent and advice from university legal counsel and outside legal counsel as well.
Wouldn't you bet their lawyers are saying, hey, guys, you have to do this. This is your next step, right? I mean, if you do something like this at the advisement of your lawyers, that means your lawyers told you you can't do anything with cause yet. You don't have cause. We've looked. We've reviewed the evidence that you compiled. None of it's cause. So if you want it, here's how you can get it.
I hate him.
Yeah, here's another. You guys were saying the other day the athletic director doesn't run sports at Auburn. He actually he runs the sports, just doesn't run football. Auburn is taking a bad situation and making it worse.
This is just incredible. This is soap opera stuff, man. This is Dallas Falcon Crest on a Friday night kind of stuff.
As an Auburn fan, just make a decision one way or the other. Either fire him or support him. Here's another one. I don't know that they – oh, okay, this was the one about I don't know if you can put a new policy in place without contract, previous contract parties agreeing to it. He says he doesn't think you can create cause. Mississippi law requires coaches be paid less than university presidents, which has to be less than the governor's salary, so University Foundation and Athletic Foundation has to pay the rest for both. Yeah. I mean, Mark Keenum and all the other university presidents in the state of Mississippi have their salaries supported by the university's foundation. Now, it's a different foundation. It's not the same foundation that a football coach is paid out of, but it's a private foundation nonetheless. I don't know what the name of Mississippi State's university foundation is. Maybe just the Mississippi State Foundation.
I think it's the MSU Foundation, yeah.
Yeah. So they pay the balance of Mark Keenum's salary. Same deal at Ole Miss with the University of Mississippi Foundation. So.
Sponsored by Richard Cross.
No. And then there's this. Why are they trying to fire him?
Because they don't think he will win football games, and they want to end it now. That's why. Because they hate the direction the program is going. They don't like that they had players hit the portal, and they don't like the fact that he is a picky recruiter. And in the SEC, you can't make it with lesser players, but it's been publicly known that Brian Harsin does not just look at athletic ability in recruiting. He will not take kids from certain places who are really talented if he doesn't think they're players of a certain character or work ethic or whatever. So he's doing the whole, I don't think stars matter. I think attitude and character matters, and that's who I want on my team. And that's not going over well because Nick Saban is bringing in 5 stars all over the field, and 5 stars usually beat high character 3 stars.
It shouldn't go over well either, especially at Auburn. That's a message you can sell it. Will Hall can sell that message, but the head coach at Auburn cannot.
David in Oxford says if he isn't back soon, they can just make a policy effective immediately that no university employee can travel to Mexico. And if they do travel to Mexico, they can be fired with cause.
COVID quarantine issues. Sorry, Brian.
Just don't know that you can retroactively put policies in place that are targeted at specific individuals so that you may achieve a desired outcome.
They're not retro. This policy is effective as of yesterday, and they probably called him today, and they're like, are you going to come back and assist us in the investigation? No. Well, did you not get the memo about the new policy?
No.
They emailed him a copy of the policy yesterday, and he
I'm in Mexico, guys. I don't have international cell coverage.
I think it needs to be repeated out loud that Auburn is about to spend $40 million to pay 2 guys, not their staff, just 2 guys, to not coach for them anymore in 14 months. In the span of 14 months, they are going to spend $40 million on 2 guys to not coach for them anymore.
In order to go get who?
The now newly named defensive coordinator at Miami. Kevin Steele completes the coup after all.
I mean, would you be surprised if Auburn tried to go and convince Mario Cristobal to come be their head coach?
At this point, I would be surprised by nothing.
Yeah.
What am I going to be surprised by Auburn at this point?
Somebody says, so all college sports coaches' pay breakdown is the same as football coaches? No. No, because the percentages and the scale are so very different. But I don't know exactly what it is. I mean, let's just say that let's use the men's tennis coach, for example. I have no idea what the salary of the men's tennis coach is. We don't have to make it specific to a university. Let's say the men's tennis coach at school X in Mississippi makes $250,000 a year. I don't know if that's what they make or not. No idea. I don't know if that means that $200,000 of their salary, if that's the highest that's allowed, whatever the highest allowed by the state is, comes through the university and the rest goes through the foundation. Or if maybe they say, yeah, I mean, the university is willing to pay $85,000 for a men's tennis coach, and the $165,000 difference, not sure I did that math right, but you understand where I'm going, is through the foundation. I don't know.
This is fantastic drama.
Okay, so why didn't they have a policy like this in place already?
Well, I mean, there used to probably was the idea that, you don't have to incriminate yourself and,
But, I mean, it's a major public institute. I have a feeling, I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling if our employer wanted to investigate me, they have some kind of thing that's like, hey, if you don't, we will fire you. Some kind of something that they can point to. That seems like it would be ideal for a company or whatever to have.
Well, I mean, because it technically is a state job versus a private company job, that may change things. And Mississippi is a right-to-work state. I have the right to work, and if you are my employer, you have the right to fire me. Man, what a mess.